Today on Ham Radio Q&A, I take a look at the Abbree Foldable CS Tactical Antenna. Does this thing live up to the hype? Well, keep watching to find out. Hi, I'm Michael, Abbree, your host for Ham Radio Q&A. I'm on a mission to inspire and educate the amateur radio community, so if this is your first time watching, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, check out our Patreon page. It's where you can gain access to exclusive content and help us to keep producing more and new exciting stuff. I was looking for an antenna to throw into my camping kit to give the portable radio a little more range. Typically, campsites and backwoods locations tend to be RF challenged. So I wanted something for my Yaesu FT-3DR to pick up area repeaters and APRS traffic without having to hoist up a larger base antenna. With that in mind, enter the Abbree Foldable CS Tactical Antenna. Abbree makes a series of foldable antennas that seem to mimic the Harris tactical blade antennas, for the PRC 148 military radio. But looks are probably the only thing similar between this and the genuine Harris product. But that doesn't make this, the Abbree, a bad antenna. Just don't expect mil-spec quality. The Abbree Foldable Tactical Antenna comes in 5 sizes ranging in 13 to 42.5 inches in length. As for the construction, they appear to be a plastic coated type tape measure type thing. And when I say that, it appears that the center or the antenna radiator is a thin curved spring steel, which is then plastic covered. With the curved nature of this antenna, it can be folded and then unfolded. It will spring to life. Abbree includes some Velcro to hold the antenna together when it's not deployed. The antenna is a 2-piece design. There is a loading coil at the base portion, and then the blade screws into it. I'm assuming that the coil is probably the same between all models, and the only difference is the length of the radiator. From a manufacturing perspective, that would make a lot of sense. The backside of the antenna is stamped with a frequency range of about 100 to 512 megahertz and an 8-watt power limit. I did put the antenna on my analyzer, and we'll take a look at those numbers in a bit. According to the specs, the 3 shortest antennas, the 13, 15, and 18-inch models, have about 2.15 dBi of gain, while the 28-inch has 3 dBi of gain, and the 42-inch version has a whopping 5.0 dBi of gain. For the purpose of this test and review, I purchased the 28.3-inch version with an SMA male connection for my Yaesu handheld radio. In testing, I also didn't verify these gain figures, so you're going to have to take the manufacturer's word with a little grain of salt. But I did do a few comparative tests between the stock Yaesu antenna and the Abbree 28.3-inch model. For my first test, I did a simple key-up test on our local repeater. This repeater is located about 14 miles from my home, and I have an issue with getting into it with a handheld due to a ridge very close to me that blocks the signal. While standing in my front yard, I wasn't able to raise the repeater with the FT-3DR using the stock antenna. I switched to the Abbree antenna and was able to kerchunk the repeater, and I received about a half-scale signal back on my handheld radio. Right there, this tells me that the Abbree antenna has some positive gain when compared to the stock antenna. Now, you're going to want to know that stock rubber duck antennas are not known for their high performance. With many of them, you're lucky to get unity gain. Their purpose is to radiate any amount of signal, and it's up to the repeater to carry the communication. But switching to the Abbree antenna did make a difference. For my second test, I decided to take the radio out into the field and do some APRS testing. I was set up camping at a local county park, and I set the radio on the picnic table, first with the Abbree antenna and then with the stock antenna. Over the course of 1 hour, I counted the number of unique APRS packets the radio received. With the Abbree antenna, I received well over 60 packets in a 1-hour time frame, and with the stock antenna, just a small handful, about a half dozen or so. So using the antenna certainly made a difference in getting a signal. One thing I did notice is that when receiving APRS packets is that the signal strength using the stock antenna was probably an S1 or an S3 on the meter. When I switched to the Abbree, the signal strength jumped up to a solid S5. In APRS, the difference between an S5 and an S3 signal is all it took to get a solid copy. I did attempt to beacon out my location to see if any digipeaters received it, but alas, I didn't get a digipeat of my signal. I also did a test transmission to see if I could hit the same repeater I tried to hit from home, but I couldn't raise it either. And it should be noted that this location is another RF tough spot. My mobile radio, really has spotty coverage with the repeater, and APRS is kind of so-so in this location. So it wasn't surprising that I couldn't reach it with the handheld and this antenna. There are other closer repeaters that I have no problem hitting with both the stock antenna and the Abbree. So on that standpoint, there was really no difference between the two. But since the antenna is labeled as broadband, I thought it would be only fitting to plug it into my analyzer and to check it out. I plugged it into the Rig Expert AA600 to see what it looked like. Generally, the SWR was under 3:1 for most of the VHF and the UHF amateur radio frequencies. There appeared to be a dip near the 2 meter and the 70 centimeter bands, although the dip for both was on the low end of the bands and not really where the FM voice portion of the band is. Now, rubber duck antennas, they're really not known to have low SWR, but they will often have a consistent 50 ohm impedance, and the Abbree antennas does deliver that. But it's really hard to get a good scan on a rubber duck antenna, as much of their operation depends on the radio itself functioning as sort of a ground plane, and also you have your own interaction between your radio, the handheld, and your own body. With all that said, what do I like and not like about the Abbree Folding CS Tactical Antenna? Well, the good, it has very good performance when compared to the stock rubber duck handheld antenna. It folds down into a more compact size, although I'll have to see how the long-term durability of this antenna fares. It's inexpensive. I paid about $17 on Amazon, which seems to be, a reasonable price for it. Now for the bad. Well, the base is wide and it doesn't quite fit my FT-3DR. There's about an 1/8 inch gap. The gap doesn't seem to affect performance, but it is a bit unsettling to see it there. The antenna is also unwieldy. It's long, and the radio will fall over if it's not placed on a flat surface. This is not really a daily use antenna. If you're looking to use it as part of a man pack, you're going to have to fold it up, and then if you leave it unfolded, you'll also run the risk of added stress to your radio's antenna connection. But all in all, it does seem to not be a bad antenna, and it certainly does perform better than the stock antenna that came with the radio. I think it's worth having as an option for when you're out in the field or at a public service activity and need an antenna with a bit more gain. I know that I've been in places where I wished I had something with, a little more gain to get the signal out or to get a little bit more solid copy if I was in a tough spot. And this antenna really would deliver for that. For the price and performance, I'd probably recommend it, picking one up and putting it in your Go kit as a second antenna, but due to its size, I wouldn't leave it on the radio every day. So there you go. Do you have any questions or comments on the Abbree Folding CS Tactical Antenna? Well, please leave them in the comments below. I'll follow up on the conversation, and maybe we'll even pull out a few for my next Your Questions Answered video. But for more articles and information, be sure to check out my blog at www.jfold-antenna.com. Support of this channel drives the production of future videos. Support us on Patreon and unlock a bevy of exclusive content. And also give us a thumbs up if you like this video, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. That's your best way to be notified when a new video is released. Well, that's it for this time. I'm Michael, KB9DBR. Have a great day, and 73.